Let's find the interval of convergence of this particular series. So we start by using the ratio test. A sub n plus 1 is going to be x minus 1 to the n plus 1 over 2 to the n plus 1. So we take the limit as n goes to infinity of a sub n plus 1 times the reciprocal of a sub n and now I'm going to rearrange. Now this x minus 1 to the n plus 1, I'm going to go ahead and break that into x minus 1 to the n times x minus 1. I'm going to put this underneath it, x minus 1. And same thing with the 2 to the n plus 1. I'm going to break that into 2 to the n times 2 to the first. I'll put 2 to the n above it. And let's see, over here I lost my n there. So I can cancel this with this, and I can cancel this with that. So notice all the n's went away. And so when I evaluate this limit, the only stuff that's left is x minus 1 over 2. So now we have to take this and do x minus 1 over 2. Absolute value is strictly less than 1. That gives us the 3-way inequality. Negative 1 less than x minus 1 over 2 less than 1. So to solve that, multiply all three sides by 2, and so you get negative 2 and positive 2 there, minus 1. And then add the 1 onto all three sides, and so you get negative 1 and 3. So these are the two numbers that are going to give us our interval of convergence, but we still have to check both of them. So first, I'll check the 1. I'm going to plug negative 1 in up here for x. When I do that, I get negative 1 minus 1 to the n over 2 to the n. And that gives me negative 2 to the n over 2 to the n. And I can break that into negative 1 to the n times 2 to the n over 2 to the n. These cancel, and I'm left with the sum negative 1 to the n. This diverges because it's, let's see, we started at 0. So this is just 1 plus, minus 1 plus 1 minus 1. It's going to diverge. So we don't include that. Now let's check x equals 3. So go back up here. Plug in 3 here for my x. So I get 3 minus 1 on top, raised to the n over 2 to the n. So this series is 2 to the n over 2 to the n, or just 1. So this is adding up a string of 1s. So that's going to diverge as well. So we don't include either endpoint. Our interval of convergence here is negative 1 to 3, not including either endpoint.